Have you ever wondered what happens to a car when it gets too old to drive? It doesn't just disappear, it starts a new journey. This is the world of auto recycling, a huge and important industry. Millions of cars reach the end of their lives every year, but this ending is really a new beginning. These old vehicles are not trash, they are a valuable source of materials. The process of recycling them is a tough job, but someone has to do it. It's a dirty, noisy, and fascinating process that turns old metal into something new and useful again. The auto recycling business is massive. Globally, it's worth over $60 billion each year. In the United States alone, more than 12 million cars are recycled annually. That makes cars the most recycled consumer product in the world. Think about that for a second. More cars are recycled than plastic bottles or aluminum cans. This industry provides jobs for hundreds of thousands of people. These are the folks who get their hands dirty to make sure nothing goes to waste. They are the unsung heroes keeping our planet a little cleaner. When a car arrives at a recycling yard, its journey begins. First, it goes through an inspection. A worker checks the car's details and condition. They look for parts that can be saved and sold. Good engines, transmissions, doors, and even radios can be reused. These parts help other people fix their cars for less money. This first step is all about finding value before the heavy machinery takes over. It's a smart way to get the most out of every single vehicle that comes through the gate. This whole system is incredibly efficient. Over 95% of old cars in the United States enter the recycling system. From each of those cars, about 75% of its weight is recovered and used again. That is a huge amount of material that doesn't end up in a landfill. Instead, it becomes a resource. The steel, aluminum, plastic, and glass are all separated and prepared for a new life. It's a perfect example of how one person's junk can truly become another person's treasure. Or in this case, the raw material for our future. Before a car can be crushed, it needs to be cleaned out. This is called depollution, and it's a critical step. Cars are full of liquids that can harm the environment. We're talking about gasoline, oil, coolant, and brake fluid. Special equipment is used to safely drain all these fluids. A probe pierces the tanks, and a powerful vacuum sucks everything out. These fluids don't go to waste. Many of them are filtered and reused right there at the plant, often to power the facility's own equipment. It's a clever way to save energy and money. Next, the battery has to come out. Car batteries contain lead and acid, which are very toxic. Removing them first is a major safety rule. But the good news is that these batteries are highly recyclable. More than 98% of lead-acid batteries are recycled. The lead is melted down to make new batteries. The plastic casing is turned into pellets for new products. Even the sulfuric acid can be recovered. For electric cars, the large lithium-ion battery packs are sent to special facilities that know how to handle them safely. After the fluids and battery are gone, workers start dismantling the car. They take off the wheels and tires. The tires are often shredded into small rubber granules. These granules can be mixed into asphalt to make roads or used as fuel in some factories. The metal rims are separated and sent to be melted down. They also remove valuable parts, like the catalytic converter, which contains precious metals like platinum. Even the glass from the windows and windshield is removed and can be recycled. This stage is all about careful separation. Every part of the car has a potential new use. The engine and transmission might be refurbished and sold if they are still in good shape. If not, they are broken down to get the steel, aluminum, and copper inside. All the plastic parts from the dashboard and interior are also collected. It's a detailed, hands-on job that requires a lot of knowledge. The goal is simple: recover everything possible before the car's body meets the crusher. Once a car is just a bare metal shell, it's time for the heavy machinery. The car frame is moved to a massive hydraulic press, often called a crusher or a baler. This machine is incredibly powerful. It applies hundreds of tons of force to the car. You can hear the metal groaning and crunching as the machine squeezes it from all sides. In just a minute or two, the car is squashed into a small, dense cube or a flat rectangle. This makes the car much easier to transport and handle. Seeing a car get crushed is an impressive sight. The machine reduces the vehicle's volume to about 1/10 of its original size. Imagine a big car suddenly becoming the size of a large coffee table. These compacted car bodies, now called bales, are then stacked up, ready for the next stage. This step is all about brute force. It's not delicate work, but it's a necessary part of the process. It prepares the metal for the most violent part of its journey. The shredder. The bales are now fed into a giant shredder. This is one of the most powerful machines in the entire industry. It's like a colossal blender for metal. Huge rotating hammers inside the shredder tear the car bales into small, fist-sized pieces of metal in a matter of seconds. A single shredder can process over 100 tons of steel every hour. The noise is deafening, and the ground shakes as the machine does its work. This is where the car truly loses its identity and becomes a simple raw material. After the shredder tears the car apart, the real magic of sorting begins. The small metal fragments travel on a series of conveyor belts. A powerful magnet is used to pull all the steel and iron pieces out. This is the biggest portion of the material. Then, other machines use something called eddy currents to separate non-magnetic metals like aluminum and copper. Advanced sensors and air jets help sort the remaining materials, like plastic and rubber. This careful sorting ensures that each material is clean and ready for recycling. The journey is almost over for the old car. The sorted piles of steel scrap are now taken to a steel mill. Here, they are loaded into a giant container and dumped into an electric arc furnace. This furnace is like a giant melting pot. It uses powerful electrodes to heat the metal to over 1,600 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than lava. At this temperature, the steel melts into a glowing orange liquid. Other materials are added to remove any impurities, leaving behind pure, molten steel. Making steel from recycled scrap saves a huge amount of energy. In fact, it uses up to 74% less energy than making steel from new iron ore. It also saves natural resources and reduces pollution. Each ton of recycled steel saves about 2,500 pounds of iron ore, 1,400 pounds of coal, and 120 pounds of limestone. This is a massive environmental benefit. The steel from just one recycled car saves enough energy to power an average home for several months. It's a powerful example of how recycling makes a real difference. Once the steel is melted and purified, it is poured into molds to cool. It forms solid shapes, like long bars called billets or thick slabs. While still hot, these shapes are sent through rolling mills. Huge rollers press and stretch the steel, making it thinner and shaping it into new products. It could become long sheets, coils, or beams. High-tech sensors check the new steel for any flaws to make sure it is strong and high quality. This new steel is just as good as steel made from brand new materials. So, what happens to this new steel? It goes on to build our world. It might be used to construct new buildings, bridges, or appliances, and in a perfect circle of life, a lot of it goes right back to the auto industry. The steel from your old car could become part of a brand new car, truck, or bus. This is why auto recycling is so important. It closes the loop, saves resources, protects our environment, and keeps our industries running. It's a tough, dirty job, but it's essential for a sustainable future.